Hello everyone, this is Gail with Pretty Presets, and today I wanted to just share a little tutorial about how to get picture perfect skin in Lightroom. There are three things that we're going to do to get picture perfect skin that I'm going to walk you through today. And the first one is going to be cloning. So any major blemishes, things like that, I'm going to clone out. The second thing we're going to do to get picture perfect skin is we're going to use brushes. And then the third thing that we're going to do to get beautiful skin is we're going to apply some presets. So I just want to start here with this image. It has some issues, but we're going to fix all those and make this beautiful. So we're going to start by zooming in on her face. Her skin is slightly underexposed, but I'm not going to do that first. I'm going to start over here with my clone tool. It's the second tool from the left. It's a circle with an arrow coming out the right-hand side. Right now I'm going to set it to clone, but I may end up switching it to heal sometimes depending on what I'm cloning. So let's start here. I usually make my brush size just slightly bigger than the blemish that I'm cloning out. So we're going to start with this. If I make adjustments to my circles all the time, so it automatically chooses what area it's going to pull from to fix the area you're choosing to fix, and sometimes it does a great job and sometimes it doesn't. I'm going to get down a little bit smaller here. Okay. And as I'm cloning, if I find something that just really isn't working with the clone tool, then I come over here and I click on heal. And I see what it looks like with heal. And to me that looks better, so I leave it like that. I'm going to come back to clone. You can choose exactly how much you're going to clone or not. It really depends on the portrait and the person's skin. Since we're really focusing on making her skin beautiful, I'm going to be a little bit picky here. So just watch as we do this. Here's another spot that's just not quite working. Let's try heal. Much better. Okay. A few little dark spots over here. I think I'm just gonna see if I can do a little bit with the cloning heal to fix the cloning tool to fix these. Sometimes it chooses great, sometimes it just chooses wacky, and you're like, why did it choose that? I think that all the time. And sometimes it does fantastic. Okay, there's one other little thing that I'm going to fix with the clone tool here. And I'm not going to fix all of these stray hairs, but I am going to fix this one that's next to her eye. And so for this, I'm going to start with the clone, and we'll see how that looks. I'm going to bring it down pretty small, and then just drag it over that little area. That's not working. Let's try heal. That looks better. Okay, so heal worked in that case. Sometimes heal doesn't work on hairs because oftentimes they're a different color than the skin tone. So sometimes it just won't work. So it really depends on your image. Let's maybe do this one right here. I'm just clicking and dragging. With all the other ones, I just, did one click with a spot, but with these, I'm actually clicking and dragging to make a custom shape. Okay, this one I'm not feeling like it did. I'm gonna make an adjustment to that one. That's better. Okay, so I'm pretty much done with my cloning and healing of the skin. So now I'm going to use my brushes. And I have the Perfect Portrait brushes. I use them on almost every portrait that I edit of a person. And sometimes even on portraits not of people, I use different ones. So we are going to start with one of my favorites, and that's the Peepee Skin Smooth. It stands for Perfect Portrait Skin Smooth. I'm going to make my brush a moderate size, not too big, and I'm just going to start brushing over her skin. And you can see the adjustment that it's making with this. Okay, I'm going to go under her eyes. I'm going to go over her nose. I'm going to hit every place on her face except for her lips and her eyes. So I don't want to hit her eyes. And I'm just going over this. If I want to see if I have hit all the spots I want to hit, I'm going to hit overlay. And that's going to turn her skin this funky red color. But then I can go in and fill in any areas that I might have missed with my brush. You may have this turned on automatically or not, I don't know. If I've accidentally hit places that I don't want to hit, I can pick up the erase brush just by clicking on erase over here on the right hand side. You'll see brush AB erase. I just hit erase and I can brush it off any areas where I overbrushed. Okay, I'm going to turn off my overlay again and look at her skin. Okay, so there are still some areas that I want to smooth even more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on New, and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to smooth this side of her face. This side of her face has a lot more sharpness to the skin. I'm seeing a lot more pores. I'm just going to hit this side of her face again. And maybe move my brush down and hit any other areas over here that I need to hit again. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on New. I'm going to find another favorite brush that I like. It's right above the Skin Smooth. I'm going to do Reduce Shine. I'm going to make my brush a little bit bigger. I want to reduce a little bit of this shine on her nose. I'm going to click on and just kind of rub it over the shiny area of her nose. And I might try and see what it does to this kind of highlight on the top of her cheekbone right there, just to play with that just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to do click New, and I'm going to go back. I'm actually going to add a little bit more skin smoothing just to a few little areas of her face. I might even come and add just a little bit up here. I think she has a little mark on her eye that I probably should have cloned that I missed. Okay, so we're gonna hit done. We're gonna zoom out and look and see what we've got here. Now, one thing I notice almost immediately is that her skin smoothing looks different than her skin down here. So I'm gonna go back in. I'm just gonna pick up a new brush for skin smoothing and make it big, and I'm gonna just smooth this a little bit. Okay, that will help it look a little bit more even, so it doesn't look like, oh, well, her face skin is really smooth, but it's not so smooth down here on her chest and neck. So we're just gonna do that. Okay, hit done. Now, the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to apply some presets. So this image is underexposed. You'll notice in my histogram, do you see that the histogram, the peaks are below the midline? And generally for skin, especially if it's a portrait this close up and I know there's a fair amount of skin in it, I would want my peak to fall a little bit closer to the right-hand side of center. So I'm gonna choose Bright Base from Color Luxe. And immediately you can see that that brightened this up. You can see that it moved my peak even a little bit more over to the right. Looks a lot better. Then I'm going to come down and choose from the Pretty Film Pastels. I'm going to choose Buff. This is going to remove just a little bit of that contrast that was added, help kind of even out and smooth things just a little bit. I'm actually going to brighten it just a touch more. Not a ton, just a little bit more than it was. I don't know, maybe right there. And immediately, one other thing that I'm noticing in this image is that her skin is still a little bit yellowy green. This is only something I am seeing with my eyes. I can hover over it. My numbers look pretty good as far as my RGB numbers. So it's not something that's showing up that way. I'm just seeing it with my eye. So I am gonna pull my tint just slightly to the right. Maybe something about like that. Much better. That helps get rid of some of the yellowy green that I was seeing. And part of that could be from all the greenery and plants that are around her. They might be reflecting a little bit on her skin. Now we can do a before and after. So you can see what this looks like before and after. A huge difference. Her skin is gorgeous. It's soft. To me, it's not overdone. It just looks like beautiful skin, her own beautiful skin. So there you go, my 3 steps for getting beautiful skin in Lightroom.